Hello, Team ET. Welcome to our live broadcast for another second week. And this time we're doing a second part, if you like, to a episode that we started about a month ago, which started to look at career transitioning. And this time what we're doing is we're continuing that journey, but by looking specifically at the transition itself through the eyes of how we would help through one of our programs, our um, transformational talent coaching programs. So that's what we're going to be looking at today and stepping through, just to give you a deeper insight, because the time is fast approaching where registration, where will we be? Well, this day will be the 12th of July, and the program itself gets underway on the 26th of July. So we have roughly another 2 weeks before the program starts, and of course, very limited seating within this program. So we wanted to give you some more information, give you the opportunity to dig deeper and book in a call with us, or to make some inquiries through the different channels. So that's what today is all about. And as you can see, we're going to be looking at careers plus the 6 core strengths, 3 internal, 3 external, that we cover during the program. And hopefully by the end of today, you'll have, I won't say a complete understanding, because that's for those that go through the program, but you'll have a much broader awareness of what this program is going to deliver and some of the value that it's going to bring for those that participate. So with that, let's jump in, and we're going to start today by looking at who is coaching for companies, like what's our overall company structure. And you can see on the screen, we're actually sitting as a division. C4C sits as one division of our company, which is called Skills for Executives Limited. And underneath that company, we have 4 main divisions. We have the education for companies, facilitation for companies, coaching for companies, and a mentor's couch, which is our communications division. If we look then directly at the coaching for companies, you'll see in the middle we have the ET Academy. And that is where our program that we're going to be talking about shortly sits and resides. And you'll see the programs under the ET Academy are on that 3rd tier of the picture that you can see. And you can see we do virtual masterminds, transformational talent coaching, as well as destination masterminds. The one we're talking about today is in the middle, transformational talent coaching, and it is tier 2. So we have 3 programs that we offer under this transformational talent coaching, and this is the second program, or the second tier, and it targets mid-level managers. The first tier is for emerging managers, leaders. Second tier, mid-level. The third tier is for senior executive talent who are looking to move into that 1%. The directors, the vice presidents, the C-suite executives within the organization. So we have 3 tiers that stage or stack on top of each other to build through the career transitioning process. On the right-hand side, or on your left-hand side of the screen, you'll see the virtual masterminds. We offer 5 different virtual masterminds. Each mastermind is the same design structure, different topics. We basically cover it depending on the sessions that we're offering. So it could be that we offer this, each mastermind has 4 sessions. It could be that we offer 1 session per day. It could be we offer 2 sessions per day with a 1-week gap in the middle, etc. So it depends on the campaign or the program that we're running at the time and the way that we're offering. But that is a very impactful, short but intense and immersive mastermind. On the other end of the scale, we have our destination masterminds, which are really the pinnacle of what we offer. These are the elite, and the people that attend these are handpicked by us. So you have to apply to come. They're very exclusive. They're very exotic. We go to some really extraordinary locations around the world. We try and bring 3 destination masterminds a year, each with a different location, and those locations change each year. So that just gives you a very quick snapshot of what we have under the ET Academy. Now, the ET Academy is shown here under Coaching for Companies because these programs are for coaching for companies. However, the ET Academy is actually supporting skills for executives. All right, so it's fed by education for companies through education for companies, we develop the programs that go into the ET Academy. Facilitation for companies, our facilitators deliver those programs. Coaching for companies, we add in the process of coaching into these programs to make it more specific and more tailored. And then we have the communication. Now, in addition to the academy, we also have our standard one-on-one coaching. We have our team coaching and our group coaching. These can be standalone, or as I just said, they can be built into the ET programs. And then on the other side, you can see we have the ET project. The ET project is 3 different areas: podcasts, live broadcasts like today, as well as our quarterly challenges, which is where we bring a specific topic and we run it for free. We give you a huge amount of material and you join us for maybe 90 minutes for 2, 3, 4, 5 days during the challenge. And then we come up with a solution on how we would deal with that. So that's what the challenges are about. Then you can see we have the talent feed blog. This is where all our blogs sit. And then we have another section which includes free videos, free ebooks, and free webinars. So this is all under C4C. All right. Hopefully that's really confused you and you are less clear than before. But there you have, that's the structure of the organization that we operate. And one of the things that we are very proud about and we promise, this is our commitment. Our promise is excellence at 3 levels. Excellence in the product quality, excellence in the service quality, and excellence in the results that our participants achieve. So we stand by that. We back that up with a 100% money back guarantee. It's a no questions asked approach. You'll find that we offer so much throughout our programs. Myself, I'm very integral in the design of these programs. That's something that I've been doing for a large part of my career, and we've worked with professors in leading universities, we've worked with leading corporate organizations to build these programs. And myself, 45-year career, I've attended a huge amount of university programs, short programs, long programs, corporate programs, and I can very confidently say we excel in our product and the services. So I stand by the promise. This is something that we don't make lightly, but it's also something we're very confident. So today is all about starting with the question on career transition, continuing, maybe a better way of saying it. So in our earlier part that I spoke about, that we did a month ago, we introduced a whole raft of questions to help you really start to analyze what you need to do. If I'm an executive thinking about a career transition, now what's some of the preparatory steps that I need to make before I can be confident that I'm going to make the right choice. And so I'm not going to go through that today. If you want to, you can look at the previous recording. But I'll just do a very quick recap on it, just so you can see the type of questions that we asked. So we asked 4 clusters of questions. Under each one of these main headings, we had a series of questions. So the first is, what have you sat back, stepped away from, and reflected on about your career so far? Now, for those people coming into this program, we will actually go into much more detail about this, because we do a career evaluation, 2-part career evaluation, you'll see later, as part of this particular program I'm about to show you shortly. And we go very deep into that, but you'll see there's a whole raft of questions that you can ask. In our case, we have about 10 questions we ask in part A. We then follow it up with a timeline. We identify the milestones. We ask you what were the triggers, those milestones. And then in part B, we say, okay, now that you've done that exercise and you've now completed this program and you've looked at those 6 strengths, what changes do you need, or what adjustments do you need to make towards this transition plan? And the whole program is built around this transition, or this transition blueprint, as we call it, and you'll see shortly. All right, so that was the first one. The second one we said is, what career research have you done? So along similar lines, instead of just saying, I think I'm going to like to move from A to B in my career. I think I want to change direction a little bit, and I now want to do some study and do some work in this particular area. We want you to go deeper. We want you to actually do some research, find out what you can, what skills do you need, what knowledge do you need, how long will it take? Third question, how much time, how much effort is required once you have that research knowledge? Is it really something you're prepared to commit to, right? Is the consequences of the extra study, the extra effort, the time it will take away from your free time with your family, the time it may take away from your focus on your job while you're transitioning. All of these are questions within the point 2 and point 3. What career research and how much time and effort is required. And then finally, we get you to say, okay, so now you've done the legwork, you've done the groundwork, you've looked at where you've come from, your experiences, your skills, your knowledge, your successes, your areas where you're not so great. You've looked at, what are the things that you really enjoy? What are the things that you'd like to get rid of? You've then started to do some research on this, and you've gone deep. You've clarified what are the additional skills, knowledge, how much time is this going to take, what's the consequences, what's the effort I'm going to have to contribute, etc. You've gone deep, and you're starting to get some clarity. You've spoken with people working in that role. You've looked at potential opportunity with working and testing that role yourself before you make the leap. Now you want to start to look at the companies, not before now, but now you want to start to look at what companies may be of interest to you. Now, most people start with this question first, right? They hear about, wouldn't it be nice to work at Google? Maybe, but based on what grounds? You have no facts sitting behind that other than the hype that you heard, all right? Now, there could be a million other companies out there equally good or better than Google, aligned with the career direction you want, paying more, better work conditions, better work-life balance, a whole raft of things, and you haven't considered them because the hype is all around working for one of the big 4, all right? So it's only after you've done the legwork that we want you to start considering the companies. In the majority of cases, there's always exceptions, but that's typically where we are at this moment. And then we say all companies aren't created equal. Now that's very true, all right? And what may look very shiny on the outside often becomes the case that when you get into it, you find that you are extremely disappointed by the choice that you jumped in. So that's where we started last time. We gave you those questions to get you started. We suggested there was a fifth item, actually. We suggested once you're at this point, then would be a great time to connect with them, right? Because now you're already very clear why you want, what commitments you're prepared to make. Now the coach can really start to help. You can, of course, connect with the coach from the beginning, but the coach is still going to take you through these steps. If you need the coach for that help, then do it. If you don't, then you already have the framework that you can start yourself with. Okay? So there you have the basis to start. And then from there, we also introduced you a month ago to this program that we called Executive Talent Launch. Now, remember, this is our Tier 2 program. And it's the program itself, like the learning part of the program, is 6 months long. The extra month is a bonus month where we stay with you and hold your hand to make sure you actually launch your blueprint towards that transition. Far too often, we do this absolutely intentionally, because far too often, and I'm sure this is no surprise, you get to the end and it was a great course, you're very hyped up, but 2 weeks later, you're back in the thick of work, things have overtaken you again, head down, trying to catch up with everything, and you've forgotten about that transition. And you just, another few months go by and you put your head up and you say, wow, what a waste of time that was. I didn't do anything with all that experience. So we stay with you for 3 challenges post the core body of this program to make sure that you set 3 challenges yourself. We hold you accountable, of course, and we'll talk more about that. Make sure that you launch, right? That's why we say 7 months. And even if you then wanted to go one step further, if you were to engage with our freebie combo pack right now, you're still roughly a month away before starting. So it could even be as long as 8 months. We'll be preparing between now and the next couple of weeks, 3 weeks before the beginning of this program, 6 months in the actual core of the program, and then 1 month helping you to launch. So it's a great transformational journey. You will have seen that we're posting some animations to help stage you across 4 animations, give you the sort of an overview of that journey and what to expect. But quite exciting, really enjoy it myself. I'm one of the facilitators and coaches that delivers on this, and for me, it's one of our flagship programs. So really enjoy being with people for so long. We build a great relationship. We establish a bond, as does the entire network. So yeah, there's a lot comes out. Now, I mentioned the freebie combo pack. Well, this is what it looks like. So if you can see on the right-hand side, just right above my head here, yeah, over this way. Okay, over this way, you'll see the URL that you can go to, and it's a landing page, site page, where you'll be able to get access to this freebie combo. Now, these are 3 videos and a 20-odd page workbook that really start to help you gain insights around some of the things you need to consider. So why is it important to be reevaluating your career on a regular basis? What's some of the criteria you need to be thinking about, and how do you go about it? That's what the videos give you an insight. And then we go deeper, talking about, we're in this world of uncertainty. It's very complex, it's adaptive, and the rate of change is accelerating. And so in the ebook, we really give you some deeper considerations that you can ask yourself, you can learn about, you can think about, you can research to help prime you for this program. So this program is all about you preparing yourself to be ready for that next career transition to the higher level. All right? So there's 2 steps that we're preparing you for. Not only the career transition, which could just be on a horizontal plateau, but we want you to move to the next level. So if you're a mid-level manager, which is who this is targeting, then we're preparing you to move to that senior level talent, senior executive talent, right? Where the next step from there will be into that top 1% of the company, 1 or 2%, depending on the company. All right, so you can get this free. This is yours now today. If you go to that link and register for it, of course, but you will be able to get access to these 3 videos in the workbook, or the ebook, sorry, totally free, no commitment other than your registration, which basically means you're going to get more emails from us, but always unsubscribe. If you really don't like what we're giving you, you can unsubscribe, and you get this package free of charge. Now, we normally do this with our programs, so this is not new for those people who have done our programs before, but for those who haven't, then this is a really nice way to prepare yourself for what we're going to be talking about as we come into this. And that's our purpose behind making this free. We call it a primer. So it's a primer to help you prepare yourself if you decide then to go further on this journey. All right, so let's look now at what we showed you a month ago about the program. I'm not going to go into it in detail because we're going to go into more detail in a moment, but you can see here, right? So there's that freebie combo in that top left-hand corner, all right? So in addition to that, once you then decide to join this program, before the program starts, we will have a virtual check-in call with 15 participants. We have a maximum 15 participants for this program. Why? Because we do one-on-one coaching, and we want to make sure that we can give you that personalized service, but we want to make sure that during the workshops, during the masterclasses, we can give you the focus and the attention, we can give you the opportunity to speak, we can really make it impactful as possible. So there's the virtual check-in call. We want to make sure that you know who you're coming into the call, into the program with, who's going to be your coach, who are the other 14 participants on the journey with you, so that when you come to the start of the program, 26th of July in this case, then you're ready to get going straight away. You already know the people you're going to be on the journey with, and you can jump in. Now, if you look at the bottom left-hand side of the screen, you'll see month 1's activities. Now, month 1 is heavy. It's heavily loaded because we need to make sure that you've got the foundational ingredients in place that we can then launch from, and we can build from, and we can measure against. All right? So month 1, you need to be prepared to dig in and get it done. We're going to do things like we're going to give you a survey to complete. It's from one of the leading leadership organizations in the world called DDI. They have a leadership snapshot survey that then they generate a report for you as an individual, right? And it's a snapshot in time. Where am I today as a leader? How effective am I? How competent am I? What skill sets do I have, and where are the gaps? Right, so it's that snapshot that you can take away. A little bit different from your 360 degree that you've probably experienced over your careers. It's very personalized. It's based on thousands upon thousands upon thousands of participants completing this, tweaking the feedback that's offered. So it's very, very accurate. You may not feel that it's accurate when we go through it, but that's partly what the one-on-one coaching will help you go and understand further. Then in addition to that, and you'll see on the next screen, I think, we'll go in deeper. So I won't talk to each one of these line items. But in addition to that, we also do a career evaluation, as I mentioned earlier, a 2-part career evaluation. So we do that at the very beginning as well, in week 1. Now, before you come, we give you another book called a primer for the event. Now, the primer for the event's not the free combo package. This is a 5-step process that we give to all of our online virtual participants, because we want to ensure that you're doing everything possible to get the most out of your time with us together. And these primers that we introduce have science-based evidence behind them, that if you follow them, your state, your energy, your readiness in your mind and body is going to be at your peak level, rather than joining and then spending the first half an hour, trying to ease yourself into the workshop, into the different activities, the coaching, the masterclasses. All right, so we give you that during week 1 as well to get you started and ready for week 2. All right, so you can see there's a whole raft of things in month 1. Now, much of that then carries through into month 1, by the way, is module 1. The month and the module is the same number. So month 1, module 1, month 2, module 2, month 3, module 3. And then at the end of the 3rd module, we do masterclass 1. We finish that, we move into month 4, module 4, month 5, module 5, month 6, module 6. I just bit my tongue. And then this end of the 2nd quarter, we do a 2nd masterclass. And then top right, you see we have our post-program launches. We do 3 one-week challenges, and then at the end of those 3 weeks, we do a final group coaching call to wrap it all up. So we're really with you for an extended period, as much as 8 months. So fantastic program. As I said, I love it. It's big, it's hairy, it's audacious, but more so the better. All right, so here's a few of the items that you can expect. Now, it's not everything, but it gives you a good image. Now, the CDs that you can see on the screen are just there to represent videos that you have access to. So you don't have to get them on CDs. You can get them on a USB. You can have access to them online, wherever. The CD is just a way of showing. But you can see there's a whole raft of things you're going to take away from this program. I'm not going to spend too much time. Okay, so here's something that might be of interest for you, and that's the schedule. So if you have a quick look yourself, you'll see we start on the 26th of July, and we have about a 3-week break in December for our holidays, and then we have the bonus month, month 7, where we do the 3 challenges. That starts in February. So by the end of February, you are finished the program. So you start end of July, finish end of February 2024. All right. So just to show you, now each, as it will show on the next screen, each month and each module is 28 days. That's because we have 4 exact weeks that we work to. And that's why in the previous screen, you see that the month date became earlier and earlier, right? It's because we're working on 28 days per module, not a calendar month. Hopefully that makes it a little bit clearer. And then this structure that you see on the screen now is your typical monthly module structure. So we have 4 weeks. In week 1, it's when you get your material. You review the material. You review what you covered the previous month. You look at your actions. You look at your habit challenges. You look at your 180-day goal sprint, and you work through those things, preparing and getting ready for the webinar, which starts at the beginning of week 2. 2-hour live webinar that you will join, and we will then take you through the theory of this particular topic module. We will then look at the exercises that you will do in week 3. We will look at them during the workshop. We will see if there's any questions, any things that you're not clear about. And of course, you can see I missed the one-on-one coaching. So in week 1, at the end of week 1, we do our one-on-one coaching with all 15 of you individually, so that you already know what you're going to be covering. We want to make sure you're clear about it. If you have any questions, we can hopefully answer them before you get into the workshop, so that when you get to the workshop, you're really ready and able to absorb everything we're doing. You're not wasting time in the beginning. We can also then start to work with you, look at how you're traveling with your needle mover actions, with your 180-day actions, goals, and with your 90-day habit challenges. We really put this one-on-one coaching there to really maximize the value that you're getting from this program, to make sure that you're not just going along for the ride. It costs a lot of money, this program, and the aim is for you to learn, grow, develop, and move through that next level in career transition. It's not going to happen by chance. It requires your effort. We're going to be with you every step of the way. The one-on-one coaching is the first step. The 2-hour live workshop is the next step. Then in week 3, and during the rest of week 2, you'll go through and you'll do the exercise. You'll do the theory. You'll make sure you understand. You may have questions. You'll ask back to our team, etc., etc. You'll prepare. You'll do your reading. You'll watch videos. And then come week 3, if you want to, you can start before, but come week 3, then you work through the exercise. Now, typically there's 2, 3, 4 exercises you have to do, and many of them will take a complete week or 4 or 5 days. And then the next part of the next step in the exercises will take another day and another day, sort of thing, so they stack together. So if we look at habits, which is topic 1, the first exercise is about identifying good and bad habits over a 5-day period. So you have to be able to monitor during your days what you're actually doing and start to identify what habits you've developed. Now, the issue with habits is they tend to be something that you do on autopilot, so you may not be aware that you're doing them. And sometimes they're good, they're bad. And our program here, particularly with our 2 90-day habit challenges, is to help you identify at least 5 bad habits that aren't serving you in your career, prioritize those, and then pick the top 2 during this program to work on and change for good habits. That's what the 2 habits challenges are about. You're actually going to break and rewrite your 2 worst habits that you identify during the first 5 days of this week 3, module 1. Just to give you an example. Then in week 4 is when we put all of that learning into action. So at the end of week 3, we will ask you to identify in your workbook 5 what we call needle mover actions. Now, these are things that will really help you transition and make inroads on that topic to how you want to be in the future. So we call them our needle movers. If you do these things, you're guaranteed of moving the needle in the direction you want to go with you. All right. Then we come to week 4. We've spoken about the 90-day good habit challenges, but we also have this 180-day goal sprint. Now, if you've heard of agile project management, you may have heard of the term sprints. Sprints are typically a short work period that you do inside the bigger project so that collectively you come together, all assign different activities within the project team, and then you go away for a period of time, maybe 1 week, maybe 2 weeks, in our case, 4 weeks, and we're going to get you to pick your number one needle mover that you decided in week 3, and that is going to be what you then dissect and work out, what am I going to do in the next month on that number one needle mover? All right, so that's what we do with this program. So you can see it's very action-oriented, it's very result-oriented, it's intense, it takes effort, it takes commitment, it takes discipline, it takes all the things that you need to be an effective leader. And we're bringing it together, we're supporting you. And then, of course, at the end of week 4, we do a collective group coaching where all 15 people come together, share their stories about the first module, second module, the progress they're making, etc. So we learn from each other, right? We may review the topic, make sure that if there's any questions, we can answer them. But that's essentially what we do. And then we do that for each topic throughout the 6 months. Hopefully that gives you some insight. Now, month 1, just as an example, this is what it looks like, right? Up in the top left side, you're going to see that first 3 video ebook combo package. And you're going to get that before month 1 starts. The white page you can see with DDI written on it, this is your leadership snapshot report that you're going to get in week 1, at the end of week 1. You do the survey at the beginning of week 1. By the end of week 1, you're going to have the report. Then if you go to the right side, top right side, you see priming for the event. Priming for the event are those 5 steps that we've spoken about already that we want you to practice 15 minutes before you come to the workshop, 15 minutes before you come to the coaching, 15 minutes before you come to the master, to make sure that your energy, your focus, your head is in the right spot. Right? Okay. And then one of the things we're going to get you to do in week 1 is to make sure that you're starting with the right knowledge. And if you look at the bottom left, Excel in Essentials Review, you'll see that this is our Tier 1 program. And so you're now at Tier 2. So before you jump into Tier 2, we want to make sure, or as sure as we can, that you're actually ready for it and that you have the knowledge that others that did Tier 1 have as they come into Tier 2. So in Tier 1, in Excel and Essentials, we give you 9 essential leadership skills. And in this booklet, we do a 1-page summary of each skill. And then on the second page, we ask you to make notes about what are some of the gaps you can see, and particularly, are there any actions you need to take? So on page 1, we give you the summary of the theory. On page 2, we say, is there anything you know you need to be thinking about, researching, studying, putting into practice that you're not doing today? Right? Because other people will be basing or starting and launching, already having that in place, now using it within their mid-level leadership. You may need to catch up. So we want you to be aware of where there's a gap, if there's a gap. Okay. And you can see our career evaluation workbook, 2 parts. We do the evaluation after you've done your survey DDI survey, and you've got your report. We then get you to sit down, have a look at our evaluation workbook, really reflect on where you've been, what's the journey you've been on, what were the highs, what were the lows, what were the triggers for those points, what did you learn from it, so that you're coming from a position of strength as you move into looking at what does that career future you want to achieve look like. And then the final booklet you can see is actually your topic 1 workbook. In this case, it's called Overwriting Habits, Good over Bad. And this is module. So there's an example of what you're going to get just out of module 1 in terms of material. Now, module 1 is probably the heaviest. In addition to that, when you go into the platform, mastermind.com platform, you're then going to have 4 different sessions, 3 or 4 sessions per module. And in each session, you'll have some articles to read, you'll have some videos to watch, you'll have some material to download, like workbooks, etc. So much of this you'll download during week 1 when you log on to the platform for the first time. But anyway, that's what it looks like, team, and that's what you can expect going forward. So I just want to pause here and say, this is our main landing page, top of the landing page. If you want more details, in addition to what I'm giving you today, go to this landing page. You can see the URL or the link on the right-hand side of the page. You'll see it's Coaching for Companies / Now we have 2 landing pages. If you're listening to this and you're in the corporate space, so you're looking at it for other people within the organization, then you can go to the corporate. Can't go that high off my hand. You can go to the corporate page. If you're an individual and you're interested, then you can go to the individual landing page. And if you want more information, you can connect with us and book in a date to have a call with us, and we can go through it in more detail. If you have any questions about costs and whether you're eligible, whether you're at the right stage in your career, if you're looking for discounts for more than one person, a whole raft of different things, you'll get a lot of the information from the landing pages, Coaching for Companies / either ETL-corporate, or the other page, Coaching for Companies / ETL-individual. All right, so please have a look at it, check it out. If you want to go further and you want to get into it in detail, then you'll find you can book in a call, etc. You can ask for more. All right. In a perfect world, we bring you into the program, and one of the first things that we're going to do with you is make you aware that this is actually a project. So this is a change initiative. And during this change initiative, the purpose of the change is for you to career transition. And the output that you're going to get is a blueprint that shows you the steps that you want to take, that you've decided are important and critical for you to take to make it to that target career state. All right? So this is the framework of the program that you're going to be filling out. Now, in addition to this, you're going to do a project plan, because this is just high level. You will have specific details that you want to work on, put times against them. Maybe they're sequential, maybe they're parallel, maybe one follows the other, any number of things. We'll talk about it in week 1 as we set you up, or in week 2 as we go through it in module 1. Now, what we do in our approach, as you can see on top right there, very smaller writing, is we start with this outside-in perspective. And the whole concept behind outside-in is we want to take a systemic thinking approach. So we want to be able to step back and look at the whole picture and say, what's happening with each of the moving parts. What is each part as it moves, creating a ripple and creating some interplay with another part. But then we want to see the whole picture as well. Now, you can't do that when you're in the thick of it. So we always start with this outside in. We zoom out, we understand the big picture, the whole ecosystem, what stakeholders are at play, what stakeholders those stakeholders maybe have that might be influencing something for you, what things outside of the stakeholders may be influencing the bigger picture. So we want to be sure we see that big picture to start with. Then we say, okay, then we're going to take, once we're clear on that, we're going to take a future backup. So you may see on the right-hand side the triangle, the tip, or the fish head, if you like, if you're talking about a fish bone. The fish head is step one. So we want you to know where you want to get to. You remember Stephen Covey, start with the end in mind. So what is that future career step or transition that you're aiming for at the end of this project? So that's where we start from. And then from there, we move backwards. And we will go to step 2, which is milestone 1, and step 3, which is milestone 2. Now, milestones are the bigger or the smaller piece that, if we achieve those 2 milestones, will lead us to that outcome. Right? Now, of course, under the milestones, you're going to have the sub-steps, right? And in our case, in this program, we break it into 6 core strengths. 3 of those core strengths are inner strengths. 3 are external. So the 3 strengths you can see that are internal are your habits. And if you remember, I've already spoken about what we're doing with habits in Module 1. In Module 2, we're going to be talking about optimizing your daily and weekly routines. And you will be absolutely blown away. I will almost guarantee everyone that's gone through this that I've worked with is blown away by how much more they can get done by optimizing. And then the third one is super critical. It's a mindset thing, and it's talking about becoming career-centric, continuous learning. So how do you as an individual establish a strategy for continuous learning that is career-centric? Now, if you remember all the way back to the beginning of today, I spoke about you need to do some preparation to know your career transition is the right direction that you want to head. That's going to be the foundation for you here. You've already started it with your career evaluation. You've already got a snapshot report telling you where you are at the moment. You've now identified where you want to get to. This step is where you're going to identify the gaps between your knowledge, your skills, your capabilities in total compared to what you need to be able to be in that next level. And that's going to highlight those gaps for you. It could be that you have some of the competencies and the capabilities, but maybe they're not as polished as they need to be. Yeah? And you may therefore say, well, maybe not first priority, but second priority is I need to refresh on this. So that's what career-centric, continuous learning strategy is all about. That's what you're going to be working on in developing this as a core strength for your mindset. Realizing that today continuous learning is no longer optional. It's a criteria for success as a leader in the future. Right? And we're going to help you build your strategy specific to that career that you want. And then we're also going to help you prepare to go and talk with your boss and your head of HR and say, you know what, boss? I'm going through this program at the moment, and they've helped me identify that if I want to get to here, here's my gaps. And these are the things that I need to be learning. Now, it could be study, it could be reading, it could be experience, practice, which means you may need to be thinking about, as part of your strategy, how can I get some practice? If you know anything about achieving mastery at your level, at the next level, you will know that it takes deliberate, intentional, dedicated commitment towards achieving that degree of mastery. But it's so much easier if you do it with guidance and you're able to get feedback and correct along the way. Now, there's more to it. I'm not going to go into all the detail. But there's the first three strengths that we really help you to not only understand, but to excel in, to hone. We're making you work through them step by step by step of this program to get you to that point. So this is not just a learn it and forget it. This is a learn it and apply it. And we're going to be holding you there because we're going to be your accountability partners with you along this journey. Then the external strengths are really where you come into your own as a leader for your team, for your organization. And three basic core strengths of 21st century leaders is that you need to be a catalyst leader. And we go into detail, help you understand what that is. What does it look like? What does it mean? How do I get there? And we actually give you another free video ebook combo package just to ramp you up in the beginning of this second quarter. Remember, we've already done now the masterclass. By the end of the masterclass, you will have filled milestone 1 or milestone 2. All right. We give you then the second combo pack to prime you. Then we launch into module 4, month 4, topic 4, Catalyst Leadership. Month 5, topic 5, module 5, talking about value creation for stakeholders, constantly creating value. So critical, and not many leaders are good at it. And then the final thing is taking that catalyst leader knowledge and skill, adding it to the value creation dynamo that you can now be, and looking to build corporate collaboration partners. All right? So those three are so dynamic in shaping you as a future leader. You will have established the habits, the routines, and the learning that underpin those three external core strengths. Right? So the 6 are so tightly interwoven. And then we come to our challenge month where we say, okay, you now have the blueprint. We want you to write the 3 challenges that you're going to do that will launch you to that transition and to that career target. So hopefully you can see how powerful this all becomes. Right, so that's what we're doing in this program. Supporting you on this journey, of course. Every month we do one-on-one coaching. Make sure if you've got questions, if you're struggling, if you need more support, if you want some help with finding a network, or you whatever it might be, we're there to help you. We're going to really stretch you. We're going to make sure that we hold you accountable and work on those things that you said you wanted to do, you said were really critical. We're going to be there with you to make sure that happens. And then from there, you move into, you will have this 2 90-day habit challenges. So each habit challenge runs for 90 days. Right? So the first quarter, second quarter. The second one, remember what I said at the very beginning? You're going to identify your bad habits. Then you're going to prioritize those. Which are my worst in order of priority, 1 through to 5. And you're going to pick your top 2, maybe from the top 3. You say, I'm going to work on those during the next 6 months to overwrite those bad habits and create positive, good habits that are going to help me in my career transition. And that's what it's all about. So that's why these habit challenges are there. Not just going to be something you identify and, that was really nice. Now I'm clear about what the bad habits are and go away from the program, nothing happens. No way. We're going to make sure that you're actually working to make the change. Otherwise, transitioning doesn't happen by itself. So we're there every step of the journey with you to make sure this happens. So hopefully you're starting to see why this is so powerful. This is not just something where you log on and it's an online program and, it's set and forget and it's all recorded. No. There's lots of times where you have to do the work. We come in, we hold you accountable. We're meeting face to face. We're speaking with you. We're coaching you. We're having workshops. We're having masterminds. We're having group coaching. All of these things add together to help you get that momentum, to build that momentum, to sustain that momentum, to create massive action that drive you towards the outcome you want, that you identified as that career transition, step 1. So here's our 2 90-day challenges, followed then by our 180-day goal sprint. Now, as I've said, at the end of week 3, in each module, you're going to choose up to 5 items that will help you move your needle in the direction you want for that topic. Module 1, habits. You're going to find 5 things that you can do that's going to help you move. Maybe you decide you want to start exercising. Maybe you decide that you want to become more knowledgeable in certain, whatever it might be, right? You're going to come up with 5 needle movers that are going to help you in that particular area. And then each month, we're going to choose the number 1 needle mover, and that's what your goal sprint is going to be for that next month. And then the second month, the third month, you pick the same from the second topic and the third topic, the number 1 needle mover, and you do another 1 month, 28-day goal sprint. Now, these are going to stack because each of our topics stack. We do habits first intentionally, and then we do routines. Because if you try and change the routine without knowing what habits are doing, then you're just going to have to come back and change the routine again, right? So we do habits first intentionally. We do routines next, so you know how you can become more effective and more efficient during your days, so that when you come to the career-centric continuous learning, you know how much time you've got in your day. You will have already allocated time for learning. And then when it comes to then developing your strategy for learning, you know when it's coming. You know how much time you've allowed. Maybe you've got to come back and adjust it, for sure, but you've already got the awareness. So they stack, right? Just the same with catalyst leadership. That's where you start. And then on top of that, we build value creation so that not only are you the catalyst, but you're creating unassailable value for your stakeholders. And then once you're at that point, collaboration is a no-brainer. Everyone wants to collaborate with you. You actually can sit back and say, well, you know what, I think I can get the maximum benefit for everybody if I choose this partner. So they stack one on the other, just the same as your goal sprint, 28-day individual goals will do. All right, we're moving on. And then, of course, we don't stop there. We say, hey, you know what? We need to do a group coaching so everybody gets the opportunity to voice their thoughts, their ideas, their progress. We can help motivate each other. We can help talk about challenges we're facing, but we hear from each other. It's no longer just me in my head, me talking to my coach, maybe me reaching out to the C4C team. Now I'm getting to engage with my colleagues. Now, of course, you'll be doing that other ways as well. But here is the group coaching that's going to help you in that regard. All right. And then, of course, we don't stop there. We say, masterclasses have a value of their own. And our structure for the masterclass is really quite interesting because we talked about just now in the group coaching where you get to hear from everybody. So in our masterclass, what we want to do is we want to leverage your collective genius on the topics we've covered in quarter one and the topics we've covered in quarter two. What are some of your learnings? What are things that you've tried? What are things that you found really challenging? What are things that worked really well for you? Who have you met? What have you read? What did you see? What have you joined? Etc. And we bring that to the table collectively for everybody to get this overwhelm of additional input to learn from others, not only from your facilitator, not only from your coach. Now, in the masterclass, we do some interesting stuff, right? We have hot seat coaching, where we ask for volunteers to come up and share their career transition strategy, the blueprint, and we get immediate feedback from the coach, from your peers, and you can go away, digest that information, hopefully leverage it, and tweak your thinking, tweak your blueprint, tweak your project plan, tweak your goals, tweak your habits, right? It becomes self-fulfilling. So the masterclass is 3 hours live together twice during this program. And then from there, we make it so you hone in on that blueprint. You reaffirm that the direction you're going with your blueprint is still the correct direction. So that by the time you get to that exit point, end of month 6 or beginning of the 3 challenges, you're going to be sure that you're in the right direction. All right. Then the 3 challenges. And each challenge is 1 week. Now, in this particular exercise, I love it because it's so powerful. The way that it works is during the masterclass number 2, at the end of masterclass number 2, after you've done all that legwork, realigned, made sure we're correct, spoken to colleagues, spoken with coaches, heard from what others are doing, heard about the challenges, heard about solutions, realigned everything you're doing, and then get you to sit back and identify for 3 one-week periods a challenge for each week. That is going to guarantee that I'm launching my blueprint plan towards my career. So I'm taking concrete, immediate steps in that 1-week challenge that is moving me towards that outcome that I said I wanted at the beginning of the program. Right? Now, if you look at animation number 4 in the video animation that we do as a promo, you'll see what that means for that particular, for Bob, who's the character of that animation. You'll see what that means for him. That doesn't have to mean that for you. That's just an example used to make that a little bit clearer. But these are your challenges, not mine. These are what you will decide is what you need to do to get you to that career transition, that next level. All right? Now, there's accountability all the way. You're going to list in the alumni group that we have, you're going to show what your challenge is at the beginning of the week, challenge week. And then at the end of the challenge week, you're going to put your results in the outcome. And you're going to get feedback at both times. And you're going to give feedback at both times. And then I, as Coach Wayne, on Monday mornings, will go on there and look at all the responses and all the comments, and we'll do a little summary. We'll talk about who's doing well, what challenges we can see, etc. All right. So 3 weeks of this. And then the final step is that we end up with a group coaching call just to wrap it all. All right. So again, 15-seat limit. So it doesn't take long to fill up. You're watching this now on the 12th of July. The program starts in 14 days. If you're interested, it's not cheap, so you need to speak, well, you don't need to, but it may be worthwhile speaking with your talent development head, HR head, your boss, whomever in corporate to see whether they would consider sponsoring you. If you're in those corporate roles, maybe this is something you would like to consider for several people in your organization. You don't have to, maybe you just want one, but options are there depending on how many seats we still have available. And of course, if you do decide to come down that path where you have multiple people from the one organization, then you also become eligible for a discount, significant discount. For individuals, by the way, if you have done any of our other programs offered through the ET Academy, then you are immediately eligible for a 20% discount on any of our programs. This one and Tier 3. That's huge saving. All right? So if there's the slightest bit of interest, jump on, have a look at the page, find out what other details you can get, give us a call, send us an email, check out some of our material, whatever you would like to do. We'd love to hear from you. It's not open to everybody. You need to be at a certain level in your career, mid-level. We will talk with you, we'll talk with your company about what that means if you connect with us, because we don't want to bring you into the program and charge you a lot of money if you're not actually ready for that program. In fairness to everybody else, because everyone else also wants to learn, we also want to make sure everyone is at a similar level. So you learn from others, they learn from you. Right? So that's why we do the way we do. All right. So with that said, team, long conversation perhaps, hopefully it's given you a huge amount of information about our approach, about my passion towards this program. It really sets you apart from most leaders. I only wish that 30 years, 40 years ago, as I started to move through these levels, I had exposure to this knowledge, to have accountability partners working with me. It's just fantastic. So, team, thank you for listening. I'm not going to ramble on any longer. I'm going to say farewell for now. We'll see you all again in 2 weeks' time. We'll be on the day of commencement 2 weeks from now, by the way, 14 days from now. So we'll be ready to start, and we'll talk more about getting into it, but we'll be on to a new topic. So thank you, all the best, and hope to see some of you joining this program. Bye for now.
So what are you waiting for? Hit the subscribe button below and click on the bell icon so I can pop up in your feed occasionally with a great tip for your ultimate growth.